And now I will request first speaker, Tanuj Bhatia. I will introduce Tanuj Bhatia is head of the department and senior consultant, Institute of Laser Urology Surgery, Sarvodaya Hospital. To be honest, more than this, he is the founder of Alto along with Nitish Jain, Aditya Sharma, and other people. Advanced endourology surgery, his area of interest are RIRS and the HOLEP. All the endourology he does very well. In fact, he is the mentor for holmium laser enucleation. He had various international presentations and national also. He is invited faculty in international and national also. His video got best prize in our national conference in 2007 on lasers. With this introduction, I am stopping sharing my screen. Over to Tanuj Bhatia. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for the kind introduction, and thank you for this opportunity. So, good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome. I'll be talking about scopes and accessories in RIRS, and without wasting any further time, I'll move ahead with the presentation. So, talking about the types of flexible scopes, basically there are fiber optic scopes, digital reusable scopes, and digital disposable scopes. And if you look at the anatomy of a flexible ureteroscope, this is the handle of the scope, this is the working shaft, and this is the deflecting tip. And on the tip, there is a working channel inlet, the objective lens, and the fiber optic illumination. A fiber optic scope is basically made up of multiple fiber optic bundles which have internal reflection. That is how they transmit the image and the light the other way around. So this is a dissected fiber optic ureteroscope, and we can see that this plastic tubing is the instrument channel, this is the light bundle, and this is the image guide, which are basically made up of fiber optic bundles. So coming to commonly used fiber optic scopes, I will be discussing only the most commonly used ones. We know that the most commonly used fiber optic scopes are P7 from Olympus and FlexX 2S from Karl Storz. So talking about P7, the main difference between P7 and the earlier P6 is that there is a graded degree of stiffness. While the proximal part of the scope is very stiff, the distal part is pretty soft, especially at this point. This gives us very good maneuverability in the system, and it has a 4.9 French tip, which is bullet shaped, which helps us to enter the ureteric orifice and into the ureter. And it has a 7.95 French shaft with high transmission characteristics, and it has an excellent Moir filter with excellent image. If we talk about technical details, as I mentioned, the diameter of the scope is 7.95 French, the tip being thinner, and it's a forward viewing scope with field of view of 90 degrees, the length of 670 millimeters, and an inner channel diameter of 3.6 French. This is standard in every scope. Almost every scope, the diameter of the instrument channel is 3.6 French. So this is the image quality we get with a P7. As you can see, it's excellent image quality. We can clearly see the stone, we can clearly see the fiber, and we can even see the dust that is floating around. And there's no Moir effect there. So coming to the next most commonly used scope is Karl Storz FlexX 2S. It's a very nice sturdy scope with good vision. The main difference between the FlexX 2S and the earlier FlexX 2 is that it now has double fiber capacity. This gives us very good vision, because with the FlexX 2, there was an issue with the vision because of the screen door effect. And it also has a ceramic tip, which prevents the tip against injury from laser fiber when we are using it. And it gives a 1:1 torque transmission. Talking about the technical details, this also is a forward viewing scope with the 270-degree deflection on either side. The angle of view is 88 degrees. The working length is 67 centimeters, and the working channel is 3.6 French. And the sheath size is 7.5 French, and this is uniform compared to a P7 where it is tapering. So this is the image that we get with the FlexX 2S. We can see that it is very clear, and we are not seeing any screen door effect. Of course, we have to slightly defocus in both these scopes to get a good image. So this is just a chart comparing the two, and as I mentioned, the main difference is that there is a taper in the diameter in P6 and P7, whereas in Karl Storz there is a uniform diameter. It is on your personal preference which type of scope you would like. So, but as we know that poor visibility still remained the issue with fiber optic scopes. So newer chip-on-tip systems evolved. The Carlstro's coming with the CMOS system and Olympus coming with CCD chip-on-tip. The advantage was of larger endoscopic field with improved resolution, but the larger tip by comparison to conventional one, this added to the size of the scope. So they are generally thicker than the fiber optic scopes. This is how the digital scope unit is. There is a chip on the tip. There is no camera head to be attached there. The image is processed in this processor and passed on to the monitor. And here we can see the difference between the fiber optic and the digital scope image. Talking about the commonly used digital scopes, Olympus V3 is the latest one from Olympus. This also has a Durobend insertion tube. So basically it gives that graded stiffness just like the P7. It has a knob that I will show in the next slide that with which you can actually rotate the shaft, and it has a 8.4 French diameter. We can see here the difference between the vision of a P7 and a V3, that is the digital scope. This is crystal clear. These are the technical details. It is a forward viewing scope with 80-degree field of view, and it has a diameter of 8.5 French, and this is almost uniform. A working length of 67 centimeters and an inner channel of 3.6 French, and the angulation is 275 degrees up and down. This is the knob I'm talking about with which you can actually rotate this scope. This is the image quality you get with the V3. So Castro's Flex XC, I believe, is the most preferred digital scope, and for me personally, this is a standard that I view any digital scope against. When I have to compare the image and the maneuverability. Castro's Flex XC has a 8.5 French tip diameter with a ceramic liner of working channel. Again, this prevents damage while we are using the laser fiber very close to the scope. It has a CMOS chip on tip with a 1:1 torque transmission. Uh, Talking about technical details, the angle of view is slightly more than V3. It is 90-degree. Working length is of 70 centimeters. Working channel inner diameter is 3.6 French, and the sheath size is 8.4 French. So this is the image quality we get with the Castro's Flex XC. We can see excellent maneuverability. As you can see here, I'm actually fragmenting in the lower pole with the scope bent, and you can see excellent uh, vision quality there. So this is a table comparing the commonly used digital reusable scopes. We spoke about Flex XC and V2, which are the most commonly used. Cost is pretty much similar. Uh, there is another one from Wolf, which comes by the name of Cobra, with the added advantage that there are two channels. But see what it does. The shaft diameter increases to 9.9 French. So you can use this exclusively with a 12 French access sheath only. So, but there were issues with reusable flexible ureteroscopes, like there's an issue of durability. The scopes don't last as long as we want them to. There are costly repairs, and there is a sterilization and reprocessing protocols which are involved. Coming to advantages of disposable flexible ureteroscopes, which are new entries in the market, there is no risk of cross contamination. They are lighter in weight. There is no need of sterilization. It allows more torque without fear of breakage, and it eliminates the cost of repair. But does this actually translate to the actual cost benefit? We will have a look at it later. So coming to commonly used disposable digital scopes, one of the most popular one is from Poussin, the U scope. These are the technical details of the Poussin scope. It has a 90-degree field of view, a forward viewing scope. The illumination is by optical fiber. You can deflect it 270-degree up and down on either side. And the diameter of this scope is 9.5 French. That is the diameter of the shaft. And the tip diameter is 9 French with a working length of 65 centimeters and a working channel of 3.6 French. Just to show you the image quality of the Poussin scope, definitely these scopes are very light and very user friendly, and they come with a monitor in which we can see the image. We can generally not attach them to our usual monitors, and you can see the excellent image quality that we have with the Poussin scope there. Good illumination, good quality, good maneuverability, but a wider scope. So This next commonly used scope is Boston Scientific LithoView. This is actually probably the most used and the most studied disposable flexible ureteroscope. So this has the advantage of a tip diameter which is slightly thinner, that is 7.7 French, but the shaft is as thick as Poussin, that is 9.5 French. It has a digital CMOS chip at tip, and it comes with a touch screen which is very user friendly, and you can deflect it on either side 270 degrees. This is the image quality we get with a LithoView. It is nice and clear, but these black things on the corner, sometimes they tend to distract you. And one of the problem with some of these digital scopes is that, a farther end you may not be seeing very clearly. Only whatever is close to the scope you see it clearly. Like you can see this calyx, it is dark here. So moving ahead, uh, I will be talking about some of the reusable digital scopes which are now available in the market. But these are reusable digital disposable scopes. They cannot be repaired and they have some limited life. The Poussin and the LithoView can be used for 4 hours. That is, there's a timer in the scope. So it's not it's not really single use. You can actually use it for 4 hours. But these reusable ones that are available now can be used for as long as 18 to 21 hours. So one scope I am pretty much excited about is the endovasive endoscope. It comes with a dual light source. You can see here in the tip that there are two illuminating bundles. It has a 9 French outer diameter. It has a 3.3 French working channel. It has a CMOS image and an integrated camera head. And this is the processor. So basically, you don't need a separate screen for this. You can use the processor and you can attach it to your usual monitor in the OT. And this is the image quality we get with this endoscope. I'll just forward it a bit. So you can see, as I said, I always try to compare the image of digital scopes with FlexXC. And this is one scope I feel is pretty much close to the image quality of FlexXC. And the maneuverability is also very good, and it is a very light scope. And this one you can actually use for 21 hours. Although we are not sure whether it will actually last that long, but that's what the company says. So V-scope is another disposable digital scope, which is being very commonly used on trial in the West. And I have seen a lot of posts on Twitter and other social media regarding this, and surgeons are pretty much excited. So the biggest advantage is the thinner diameter of 8.4 French with a 275-degree dual deflection. It has a bullet-like tip, just like our P7, which helps us in going inside the ureteric orifices and into the ureter easily. There is no separate monitor required for this also, and it has excellent vision. This clip is actually from YouTube, but I just want to play it to show you the image quality of V-scope. Yeah. So you can appreciate, you can see how nice the vision is with this scope also. I'm not sure if this is available in India and the subcontinent as of now. So moving ahead. This is another scope available in India, especially it's actually a Chinese scope from a company called Shihin, but it is being marketed by UMD, who are marketing Quanta laser in India. This is also a reusable disposable scope with a field of view of 120 degree with a forward viewing and 8.5 French outer diameter. So it is also relatively thinner. And just to show you the image quality, can you see here, it is a very nice image quality with this scope as well. This case is actually being operated by Dr. Nanjappa in Mumbai, and it has excellent image quality, and we can use our usual monitors with these scopes. Of course, there is a small monitor that they give, but we can attach our usual monitors also, and they have good image quality.
Tanuj, a little
Yes, a little
faster.
faster. Yes,
It's
sir.
12 minutes now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So just few points about the cost effectiveness of these scopes. There are no uniform equations that compared these scopes. There was a lot of heterogeneity in the data. With the available data, reusable flexible ureteroscope appear to be more cost effective in high volume centers. Single-use disposable scopes appear to be more cost effective in low volume centers, centers with trainees, public health backed facilities, and case specific, that is lower pole and large burden. But newer disposable scopes may change the dynamics. Sir, should I go ahead with the accessories or have I exceeded my time?
Little faster.
I'll just quickly, I'll just quickly run through. So basically, accessories can be divided as accessories for better access, better extraction, for biopsy, stents, and others. For better access, most important thing is the guide wire. They allows for ureteric access to establish a tract and to exchange devices during the urological procedures. Most commonly used is the hydrophilic guide wire. It has a hydrophilic coating with elastic nitinol core available as 0.025 to 0.038 inch in diameter. Relatively easy to pass along the impacted calculus, most commonly used for RIRS. Preferably both sheds should be soft tip. Super stiff guide wires come in handy sometimes, especially when there's an enlarged median lobe or angle at the VUJ. Problem with commonly used wires like Zebra is that the tips are not radio opaque and they don't have a hydrophilic coating. The hybrid guide wires cover that advantage. They have a super stiff core with nitinol tip and hydrophilic coating. Roadrunner from Cook and Sensor Wire from Boston are examples. And we know about the ureteric catheters. They help us to do a RGP and to pass a guide wire through the kinks. Dual lumen catheter can be of advantage in RAR sometimes, especially it helps in dilating the ureteric orifice. Access sheaths are integral part of RARS surgery. They facilitate the insertion of flexible ureteroscope, consist of outer sheath and tapered dilating obturator. They are coated with hydrophilic polymers for easier insertion. Outer diameter available as 9 to 18 French with a length of 20 to 55 centimeters, and they'll help in reducing the intrarenal pressure during ureteroscopy. The passage of access sheath should be very smooth. There should not be any force, should not be exerted. These are different access sheaths available. Then there are accessories for extraction, mainly the nitinol retrieval.
This will be
Yeah,
spoken
yeah,
anyway.
it will be covered later. So I will just
We can
skip.
it.
Yeah, yeah. So then if you need to take a biopsy, then there is a backloading biopsy forceps from Cook, or you can get one made from the Indian manufacturers also, which need not be backloaded. Then we know about the stents, the commonly used double J stent and endopallotomy or endoureterotomy stent if an endopallotomy or a dilatation has been done. Thank you. Sorry for exceeding my time.